Today, I wanted to talk about Splatoon 4 on the Nintendo Switch 2 and what that could possibly look like. I'm not here to talk about the hero mode or where the story is going to go or returning subs and specials and things like that. I more want to take a look at the Switch 2 leaks and that circulation of rumors that's been going around and see what that implies for Splatoon 4. Like what the hardware of the Switch 2 implies for Splatoon 4. My uncle doesn't work at Nintendo or anything. This is all based off of speculation and what I've seen going around, all of the leaks. There's so many at this point. So if you enjoy this style of video, let me know, subscribe, tell me in the comments, and let's get into looking at this. I think the first thing that needs to be addressed is the mouse and keyboard support for Splatoon 4. This comes from leaks showing an IR sensor thing, similar to what a mouse has, but it's on the Joy-Con rail. Splatoon 3 is primarily played with gyro controls, as stick controls are suboptimal with no aim assist in the game. As a competitive Splatoon 3 player who has played PC shooter games for years, I don't hate this idea, but it kind of sucks ass. You'd have to buy a keyboard separately, and go rub a Joy-Con on a table. It doesn't feel fun.
What are you talking about? I'm having fun.
I have seen rumors that the Joy-Con will have mouse soles, but from what we've seen of the console, I don't think it will. It all just doesn't seem very Nintendo-y. Nintendo has always been about weird controllers, and if they are truly going for a Switch 2, then I think they'll stick with the weird controllers of the Switch 1. I have seen some rumors going around that it can control the UI of the Switch 2, which could be interesting, but I don't really see a use for that. But again, this is all speculation at this point, and if it is going to be a mouse-style controller, I would assume that there would be some sort of game support as well. Those sensors on the side, I suspect, will be something used for Labo or Mario Party mini games and not see a whole lot of use, similar to the IR camera we have right now. If, however, they do end up using them as mice, will this affect Splatoon 4? Prochara did a second channel video about this, and not really. Competitive players have put thousands of hours into gyro, and a tiny little mouse, while cool, doesn't give any reason to change. I was pestering competitive Splatoon legend Dude in his chat the other day about this, and this is what he had to say.
I think the Switch 2 having an optical sensor to work like a mouse and it being a thing to, I don't know, be able to work in that way and maybe also being compatible with games, I think that would be very, very cool. It definitely could work for Splatoon. 100%. I think that is just another way that they want to implement being able to control the OS for the Switch. But I mean, something like that could work for Splatoon as well, which is cool to think about, let's just say.
One use I can see for this is being a way for people who can't use gyro controls because of motion sickness or something. My buddy MJ here doesn't use stick controls because of motion sickness, but rather out of preference. I've also heard that the sensors for these are going to be in the left Joy-Con, which You make me sick. Performance is always something to talk about. Wow, the new Nintendo console is going to run at 12 gigashards instead of 18 megaturds. Then it's only 9 megaturds, and the thing can't run Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at 60 FPS with 4 people. The only performance metric I've seen going around is that the dock for the Switch 2 is going to take 60 watts. The Switch 1 took 39, and the Xbox Series S takes about 75. So this puts the Switch that we have right now at half a Series S or 0.11 a refrigerator. The Switch 2, on the other hand, would be more comparable in terms of raw power needed to the Xbox Series S. This doesn't really mean too much, but if we look at the Series S, we can see that it's capable of 120 FPS in some games. If the Switch 2 could run Splatoon 4 at 120 FPS, that would be huge. This would double the frame rate of the game, gaining a large advantage to people playing on 120. Does this seem like something Nintendo would do? No, I don't foresee them hardware locking people out of such a feature, although it would be incredible if it ends up happening. I feel like this happens every generation. We think the console is going to be so powerful and then Nintendo doo-doos on our dreams. Another spec that I've seen floating around is like PS4 levels of power, which isn't bad. We could see 4K support, which matters less to me than frame rate. 4K still would be cool to see. Putting reality aside and putting copium on, 120 FPS Splatoon 4 could be possible, especially with the use of AI frame generation, which has been seeing a lot more use lately. The way this works is pretty much the game renders 2 frames normally and then slides an AI generated one in between them. This can be used for massive performance gains, and to the untrained eye, looks really good. Nvidia has been pushing this for a while now. Also, the Nintendo Switch 2 has been rumored to have AI upscaling based off some patents Nintendo has put out. This would help with storage, as Nintendo can pack a game with maybe 720p graphics or 1080p graphics, and then upscale them later using software to 4K. That way you're not downloading a bunch of 4K textures. Supposedly, the Switch itself is going to have a microphone baked into it. At first, I was like, oh cool, now there's no reason to not have voice chat in Splatoon. Then, on second thought, I don't know. The Wii U gamepad had a microphone, and Splatoon 1 didn't have VC. Splatoon is a really hard game to comm. It's not like Valorant where you have a buy phase to plan things out before you go in. Comms are fast and cluttered, and the game is so fast-paced. Doing this with randoms and Sendu queue is fine, but most of these people have a little competitive experience, at least. While the idea of baked-in microphone support is nice, I just don't see Nintendo changing their stance on it now. The month of April keeps getting thrown around as a release date, and if that's the case, I could see Splatoon 4 coming out maybe that summer. Splatoon 1 and 2 are both games that came out in May and July respectively. My theory would be either a summer release date or that holiday season. Splatoon is a really summery game in terms of vibe, and the release dates for those two play into that. However, that wouldn't leave us with a very long development time. Splatoon has become one of Nintendo's biggest franchises, so it doesn't make sense to me not to have a game on the console. Which brings me back into the rumors of backwards compatibility. Like, obviously I think there's going to be some. It's the Switch 2. The Wii U supported Wii games, and the Wii supported GameCube games, and those consoles were so different. Look at this thing. I mean, it looks like a Nintendo Switch, but 2. This could imply not seeing Splatoon 4 for a little while, as we could just play Splatoon 3 on the new console. However, Splatoon 2 came out about 2 years after Splatoon 1 came out, and they were on completely different consoles, so I don't see Nintendo letting that gap grow any further. Because Splatoon has become one of their biggest series, they're not going to want to make people wait. When Splatoon 2 came out, hardly anybody knew about it, as Splatoon 1 was hardware locked to the Wii U. Basically, I'm saying I don't see a wait longer than about 2 years. Although, this number could be thrown off by the fact that technically Splatoon 3 is on the console due to backwards compatibility. There's been rumors about the return of Miiverse on the Switch 2 going around, and I gotta say, I'm excited. Miiverse was such a fun concept on the Wii U, and I think it would be great for Splatoon 4. Splatoon is sort of a lifestyle game for a lot of people, the same way something like Animal Crossing is, which makes sense because the same team worked on both games. I could see Miiverse adding to the connected vibe of Splatoon by adding new forms of socialization. The dream would be some sort of really good Splatoon-centered social media. There's been a lot of discourse about Splatoon being dead as of late, and I think this is really due to how spread out the community is. Blue Sky, Twitter, Discord, YouTube, Twitch, Sendu, Squidboards, it's all too much. Some sort of Miiverse, or Vidmeo as it's going by now, support for the game using the Splatnet app could be really cool. It would require a lot of effort from Nintendo. For that reason, I don't expect much. The rumors are that it's a TikTok-style app with communities and even DMs. If you've ever been on Splatoon TikTok, you know it needs to burn, so this could be a great way to finally kill it, and bring the community all together on one platform. Basically, I really want to see Splatoon get next-gen treatment. The game has become increasingly bloated and stale, and I think the Switch hardware could greatly affect how the game feels without even taking into account the software side of things. Hopefully at least some of this speculation becomes a reality, but you know, it's Nintendo. Nintendo's like an alcoholic boyfriend. They don't do what you expect unless what you expected was the bare minimum or an ass whooping.